And this, the Zohar says, there are two levels of service. There's a servant and a son. So a servant, what's a servant? Let's say a hired worker, right? If you hire a driver, and then you tell this driver, oh, by the way, I would like you to mop my kitchen floors. Guy says, well, I'm a driver. I'm not your maid. My job is my job. And the guy says, no, not interested. And even furthermore, let's say you go and after hours, you hire this driver from 9 to 5. 10 o'clock at night, you call up the driver and be like, I need you to drive me to an important meeting now. The guy says, I'm out of the clock. I'm off the clock. Don't bother me now. And rightfully so. So a servant, someone who serves like a hired wage, they clock in and they clock out. They do things only because they want to get a paycheck and that's it. But then you have another type of level of service, and that is a service of like a son. A service of a son, if a mother or father calls up a son at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, listen, I need your help, can you come to me right now? The son says, I'm sorry, my obligations don't start until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. No, 9 o'clock, I'm only 9 to 5, I'm here to service you. No, if a son loves their parents, loves the mother, loves the father, they will wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do what the parents want them to do out of love and out of, of course, I'm here. Like they're not going to go and be like, I'm asking for a payment. No, I'm here. I have gratitude to you. I have so much for you. I love you and I want to just do for you. Like, of course, you did so much for me. It's not even a consideration. These are the two levels that the Zohar speaks about. And this is the levels that Antigonus is referring to. We have to know how to go and connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how we go and connect to it in a joyful, enthusiastic, and a connection type of way. The Magen Divna brings down, the Rabbi Yaakov Kranz, brings down this mashal, this parable, that you had this mighty prince, and he went on a trip with their family and their servants on the entourage, and they went to, as they were traveling, they stopped by certain very, very successful, wealthy people. They stayed in their houses, and they were hosted, but these wealthy people hosted the prince and his entourage. So the first night, this rich man hosts the prince, and they do it to the level of the prince, the banquets and this, go the full 9 yards. The next morning, the prince goes over to this wealthy man and says, okay, listen, I know you spent a lot of money on me. How much, what's the bill? I want to cover it. So the wealthy man says, okay, the bill is, a certain amount of money. The prince takes out his gold purse and pays this person in full. The next night, he goes and travels to a different person, different wealthy man. And this wealthy man also throws his banquet and puts everything on the level of a prince. And the next morning, the prince goes over to this wealthy man and says, okay, how much do I owe you? What's the damage? And this wealthy man says, what? What do you mean damage? He says, what do you mean, what do you owe me? You don't owe me anything. Be like, no, what do you mean? You spent a lot of money on me. I want to pay you for it. He says, pay me for it? Chas v'shalom. Are you kidding me? God forbid. I'm going to take money from it? What it was an honor and a privilege to be able to go and have the prince in my house, and I'm able to go and pay for the prince? Are you kidding me? I'm never going to take a cent from you. It's my honor. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. And, the prince is like, wow. He's like so moved by it. So he goes and says, okay, no, I want to give you, now I want to pay you even more. He says, no, I'm not taking anything. He refused to take any gifts or, any payment. What happened, for these two people? How does the prince feel to these two? The first person, he gave them what he wanted, gave them a amazing banquet, an amazing state, and he paid him for it. The transaction is finished in the first night, and it's done. The second night, he was so moved by this person that just wants to do for the prince that for the rest of this person's life, the prince kept on sending him gifts and kept on saying, what do you need? You got to connect, anything I could do to help you. He was so moved that someone wants to be so close to it. So who gained more out of this transaction? The person that just got paid back, or this other person, the second person who just kept on getting more and more gifts for the rest of their life? It always had a connection. One phone call, he says, Prince, I need your help. He says, of course. What won't I do for my dear friend who wants to honor me so much? This explains the Maggid of Divna, the two levels of service of a Jew. You have a Jew that goes and says, okay, God, I did X, Y, and Z. Pay up. Where is the mullah? Give me the payment. Where it is. Or you have another Jew and be like, what? God, payment? Are you kidding me? I love the fact that I'm able to serve you. I have so great appreciation that I'm able to connect to you. And thank you so much for everything that you would give me. It's just like which connection grows, which is a higher level of service. Says the Nesivos Shalom, this is the difference. This is what Antigonus is saying. Antigonus is saying, don't serve God just for the reward in the next world. Rather, serve God for the reward in this world. And how you can do that? You have to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu through joy, through love.